For those of you exercising around dogs, you've no doubt experienced your dog trying to sit in your lap or being underfoot while you're working. In this video, we'll partner up with a yoga instructor for some tips and a pet-conscious yoga flow. Ian here with Simpawtico Dog Training, and we are going to zip right into it. Our friend Arynn is a certified yoga instructor. She does classes around town and even here at the studio on Monday nights. We've been working together for a long time and we are psyched that she's joined us today. She's designed a sensible routine with mostly standing positions for us dog owners. She'll also suggest some training components that might be useful to prepare your space and your dog for exercise. This originally aired on one of our Facebook Live events, but we felt the content was good enough to share on YouTube so you could bookmark it and enjoy it whenever you wanted. So, take it away, Arynn.
All right, hi guys, welcome. I am so excited to be here this morning. So grateful to Ian and Christy for having me, for this opportunity. Been working with Simpawtico for a long time and just absolutely adore them. So this is awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to talk a little bit today about creating a space for you and your dog when doing an at-home yoga practice. So I have Noxie here with me. She's getting used to a new space. This is her first time here, so she may or may not participate. I'm not sure yet, but she's laying down relaxed, so that's good. But yeah, creating a space for you and your dog so that you both are peaceful, you both are safe, and you can have a successful practice. So beginning with that, what you really want to do and think about is if your dog is so disruptive that it's blocking peace from your practice, it is okay to close them out of the room. It's okay to have a separate space for them and take that time for yourself. That is okay to do. So keeping that in mind, that being said, having your dog with you definitely creates space for them to bring you that stress relief. I know for me personally, when I'm lying down in Shavasana or starting to cool down my practice and I have a little doggy nose come up on my chin, it actually really helps me to release that stress and to feel good. So if you can have them with you, I do recommend it because they can actually be really nice stress relievers. First things first, when picking a space in your home, you want it to be a space where you're going to have the least amount of interruptions. So for me, in my living room, there's a lot of traffic driving by on the street. That's right where our front door is. Other people in the home will be walking by in that area. So you really, it's not a great space for that because my dogs can bark, they can get distracted. So I like to either be outside or just in a space where it's going to be quiet, not a lot of room for interruptions. So that's the first thing. Second thing, to make sure you have even less interruptions from your dog, making sure they're fed, they've been potty, and that they have something to keep them busy. So maybe a bone or a specific toy that they like to chew on. Kongs are always a great option, filling and freezing a Kong, giving that to them right before you start your practice so that they're happy, you're happy, you both can practice safely in your space. The next thing I would say is spatial awareness. So if you're gonna kick your leg up in a downward dog, making sure your dog's head isn't right there and you don't accidentally, give them a little nudge. If you're going down into any pose that requires balance or for you, where you're compromising your body a little bit, like chaturanga, for instance. If you have any risk of your dog, coming underneath you and knocking you over, that's cause for injury. So just really being aware of where they're at, where you're at. So spatial awareness in that sense, if they're going to be kind of in your area. So today, this is going to be a little tricky for me. I am a certified vinyasa yoga instructor, so it involves a lot of up and down movements, so going down onto the mat, coming up off of the mat. But to keep your practice safe and to avoid your dog sort of getting in your face and bombarding you on the mat, this practice is going to be mostly standing poses. So by removing yourself from the floor, you're removing that issue of your dog maybe invading your space a little bit. So bear with me as we go through this. You're still gonna work. It's still gonna be a really great flow. So we're gonna start on our mats, standing. Couple props that you may or may not need. If you don't have them, it's okay. I have a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can use a heavy book, a soup can, just something that's going to bring the floor up to you and be a good base of support for any balancing or if you need to modify poses. Dog owners, I know everyone probably has a ball, so tennis ball, racket ball, something like this. And we're actually going to start with this today. So if you don't have a ball right away or nearby, I'll give you a couple seconds to grab one. Or just keep this in mind, kind of bookmark this, and you can do this at another time. Using a tennis ball for any sort of massage on the body is great, super easy to do. So you can go up against a wall and kind of work your shoulders out, low back stuff, hip stuff, all kinds of stuff you can do with the ball. Today, since we're going to be standing, we're going to work on that plantar fascia here, so on our feet. So really just taking the ball on the floor, here comes Knox, and you're going to just kind of roll it in the arch of your foot. Back and forth, just massaging that out. And you want to put enough pressure on it so that you feel that release in the fascia. But not too much that, you're bringing yourself pain. It should feel like a good massage on the bottom of the foot. Just releasing any tension here, getting your feet ready. So if you're on your feet a lot during a day like this, is really good for nurses or people that, spend a lot of time on their feet. Doing this just back and forth, making sure you're not using your dog's favorite ball, because that could, create some issues there too. So we'll switch feet now. Good girl, Noxie. Good girl. Yeah, we've established our boundary. She's pretty good about it. And just continuing to massage that out. Good. And you can come back to that. You can do that later. But definitely good tool to have, and I know most dog owners have at least one ball handy. So we'll set that off to the side. And then we'll find our mountain pose. So notice how the bottom of your feet feel now. Notice if you feel any release, if you feel like you can stand up a little taller. A lot of times in yoga we will cue to press evenly into the four corners of your feet. Baby dog. So massaging out that plantar fascia is really great for that. So coming onto your mat, standing up nice and tall, roll your shoulders up by the ears and down the back, opening up the heart. You can close your eyes here. We'll just start to drop in, tuning in with your breath. Taking nice deep inhales and exhales. Chin is parallel with the floor. Crown of the head rising up toward the sky. Good. And then take your hands together at your heart. Bring palms together at your heart. Maybe setting an intention for your practice. Just tuning in with your thoughts really briefly, noticing how your body is feeling, your mind is feeling. And then we'll begin to move. So inhale, take those fingertips all the way up to the sky. And then exhale them back down to your heart. Inhale, reach up, maybe gaze follows. Exhale, take it back down. Really pressing palms into one another. Elbows come out wide. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale. Hands come back down to the heart. Beautiful. This time we'll come up, inhaling, and then maybe taking a tiny back bend at the top. So bringing your arms on either side of the ears, pressing your hips forward, looking up toward the sky. Wonderful. Release it down, exhale it down, and release your hands. Now we're going to take an interlace of the fingers behind the back of the head, dropping your chin towards your chest. Just stretching out the back of the neck here, really gently. This is a great midday stretch if you've been sitting for the first part of your day at a desk. Good. Find your mountain pose, come back to mountain pose. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms up, bracelet your right wrist with your left pointer finger and thumb, and take the stretch over to the left. So we're stretching out that right side body, maybe looking up and out to the right. Just breathing. And then option 2, drop that left hand, bend your right elbow and look up a little bit higher. Just feeling where the stretch moves as you make that adjustment in the body. Where you feel the stretch. Inhale, come center, and then exhale, take it over to the other side. Good, release the right hand down, bend that left elbow, look up. Moving the stretch. Awesome job. Release it, shake anything out, and then finding your mountain pose at the top of the mat. So arms resting by your sides, palms forward. We'll inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring your palms to touch, fold it in. Inhale, bring fingertips to shins as you lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Round it in, crown of the head reaches toward the floor. Just starting to move into some sun salutations, warming up the body. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, hinging at the hips. Exhale, hands to our heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, so fingertips can come to shins, or they can rest on the mat underneath your shoulders. And then from here, heel toe your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance, but a little bit narrower than the length of your mat, the short edge of your mat. From here, you're gonna bring your right hand center, bending the right knee. Left arm reaches up to the sky. So we're bending over into that right hip, stretching out the left hamstring, back of the left leg, reaching up, gazes up. Maybe closing the eyes. Exhale at center, and then walk it over to the other side. So this time, left hand plants underneath you. Again, if you have that block, if you want to bring the floor up to you, you can place that right underneath there, bending into your left knee, and then right leg stretching out, take that other hand up. Good, release at center. Release the top of the head toward the floor, heel toe those feet in back to hip width distance apart. And round all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Beautiful job, you guys. Keep that block nearby. Moving into our sun salutation B. So from here, bring your big toes together, keeping a space between your heels. We're going to sink our hips down, bring your arms by your sides, and let the fingertips graze the mat as you lift them up by the ears. So nice deep chair pose, pelvis is tucked under. So you're tilting your pelvis forward, tucking your tailbone. Good, and then exhale, straighten the legs, fold it in. Crown of the head toward the floor. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. This time you're going to step your left foot straight back behind you, bending into that front right knee. Your left foot's at about 45 degrees. We're rising up into warrior one. So keeping this in standing postures, even though Noxie is being very good over by the side there. And then we'll step it up at the top of the mat. Reaching your arms up, take your right foot back 45 degrees, bending into that front left knee. This time, warrior one, other side. Arms by your ears, really bringing your chest forward. Good. Step it up, fold it in. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Big toes together, space between the heels. Let those fingertips graze the floor as you sink the hips back. Find your chair pose. Gazing down, you should be able to see all of your toes. Bring hands together at your heart now, and then take that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Hands come together at your heart. So we're twisting over to the left, making sure your knees are in line. You have the option to open up the arms here. Good, bring it center. And then twist it over to the other side. So same thing on this side. Even face you guys. Option to open the arms up on this side. Thighs are engaged, really working our glutes, our thighs. Come back through center and straighten it out. Beautiful job, you guys. All right, moving into some more standing postures. We're gonna find that warrior one pose again. So right foot is forward, left foot back behind you. You have a heel to heel alignment. Your left back toes are at a 45-degree angle, hips are squared forward. So we're in that warrior one. Finding that alignment. And then from here, straighten that front knee. So it's straight but soft. Coming into a pyramid pose. You may have to adjust the back foot by bringing it in or taking it out. Chest is lifted. And then from here, folding over that front leg. So coming into a pyramid pose, you're gonna get a pretty intense stretch in the back of the right hamstring. So if that's too much, just back off a little bit. You don't necessarily have to fold all the way in. You can come to this half fold. You can stay straight up. And then taking a little bit of a funky transition here, we're gonna actually switch over to triangle pose. So now you're gonna have a heel to arch alignment and your back foot's gonna be parallel with the back edge of the mat. So from here, if you have that block, you can take it to the inside of the foot. You can take your right hand to your shin, ankle, or the inside of the right foot. And then we're reaching that left arm up to the sky, coming into triangle pose. You wanna make sure you have a nice straight line from the right hand, the right wrist, up through the left fingertips. Opening up. And then from here, you're going to take your gaze down to that bottom hand. Bring your left hand to the block. And then revolving your triangle. So twisting over to the right. Right hand comes up. Tucking your hips under. For revolved triangle. Good. Bring it back through center. Inhale, lifting up, and then step it up at the top of the mat. So skipping our vinyasas, usually in a flow like this, I would have you come down, take a chaturanga, go up into downward facing dog. But just to keep ourselves safe, keep our pups safe, we're going to continue to stand. So moving into warrior one on the other side. And I'm going to change direction so you guys can see me. So we're in our warrior one. We have our alignment. Hips are squared forward. And then from here, straightening that front leg. So straight but soft. And then you have the option to fold it over. And then taking that funky transition into our triangle pose from here. So lifting up, finding triangle. And then transitioning into our revolved triangle. So setting that block up, that soup can, whatever you have, and revolving it. Very good. Come back up, stand it up, and step it up at the top of your mat. Nice job, you guys. All right, so we're in our mountain pose. And since we're skipping vinyasas, let's take a nice brief half sun salutation. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, body to 90 degrees, and exhale, fold it in. Release. From here, hands are planted. We're stepping that left foot straight back behind us. We're on our back left toes. Bending into that front right knee. High crescent. High lunge. Really opening up the front half of the body. And then bring your arms by your sides. Your palms are still facing forward, drawing shoulder blades together. Drop the chest forward, bending a little bit deeper into that right knee so you have a 90-degree angle here. And then maybe you come up a little bit higher on those back right toes. This is lightning warrior. You're really going to feel that in your right hip, your right thigh. It requires a little bit of balance, maybe taking the chest a little bit lower. Good. Inhale, reach it up. Back into your high crescent, slow and controlled. And then see if you can challenge your balance a little bit here by stepping it up at the top of the mat. Nice job. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold it in. This time, right foot steps back. You're on the back right toes, high lunge, high crescent, opposite side. Find your balance. Lift it up. Maybe putting a tiny micro bend in that back knee and then straightening it just to tilt your pelvis forward a little bit more, opening up your chest and your heart. Good. Bring the arms by the sides, palms facing forward, and then find your lightning warrior. So you're really on just the toes of the back foot, not even the ball of the foot, if you can. Breathe through it. Keeping the inhales and exhales concentrated on the nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. Good. Inhale, reach it up. And then let's test that balance. Step it up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands down to our hearts. So you can see how good of a girl Noxie is being in the corner over there. Of course, as soon as we do this, she's just, doing her own thing over there. All right, we're gonna step it back into that high crescent one more time. So left foot straight back behind us, bending into our front right knee. Here she is. And then from here, take your left hand forward, right hand back, twist it over to the right. So you're twisting toward that bent knee, that bent thigh, taking your left hand to your right thigh, right hand to the left thigh, twist. What'd you find, baby dog? Good, then inhale it back through center. Bring your hands down to your heart. We're going to test our balance a little bit more this time. So instead of stepping it up, we're going to bring our chest forward, back foot lifts, find your warrior three. Step it back a little bit so I can make sure you guys can see me. So you want your hips in line, back left toes pointing down toward the floor, tiny micro bend in that standing leg, and then you can play with where the arms are at. So they can be by your sides, forward, you can keep them at your heart. Warrior three. And then challenging that balance just a little bit more. Bring that back knee into your chest, lift the arms up. Find stork pose. Beautiful job, you guys. Set it down, very nice. Always good to challenge your balance. Just making sure you don't have a puppy underneath you. All right, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift it up halfway. Exhale, fold it in. This time our right foot steps back. Bending into that front left knee. We're in our high crescent once again. Other side. And then twisting over to the left side this time. So right hand comes forward, left hand comes back. You're dropping your left hand to your right thigh. Right hand to the left thigh, twisting. You can look out to the left or back behind you. Good, come back through center. Hands come down to our hearts. And then we're gonna shift it forward. Find your warrior three. Find that balance. Hips hips in line. One long line from the crown of your head through that back right heel. Bring it forward. Lift it up. Stork pose. Finding your drishti, something to gaze at in front of you that's not moving. Focus on that. I just closed my eyes for some reason, so I'm swaying a little bit. All right, set it down. Beautiful job. Last time of this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Beautiful. All right, we're stepping our left foot back 45 degrees, bending into the front right knee, back in our warrior one here. Reaching the arms up by the ears, and then we're going to take an interlace of the fingers behind the low back, drawing shoulder blades together. Chest comes forward. If that's too intense on the chest or the shoulders, you can always grab opposite forearms or opposite elbows behind you. Hugging in that core, whichever you choose. Reach up, look up, and then fold it in by taking your right shoulder to your right knee, crown of the head toward the floor. Coming into your humble warrior, seeing if you can reach those fingertips or those forearms up toward the sky. And breathe. Really ironing out the wrinkles in the back of the neck, making sure you're not looking forward. You want the crown of the head all the way toward the floor. Beautiful job. Let's release the interlace of the fingers. We're going to do another little funky transition here. So bringing your right hand to the inside of the right foot, and then taking that back foot parallel with the back edge of the mat. So again, we're creating that heel to arch alignment. And then you're going to reach the left arm up to the sky. So we're in our side angle. If this is too deep or too intense, you can come into modified side angle by bringing the forearm onto the right forearm onto the right thigh, or taking your block to the inside of your foot. Challenge yourself, but don't push yourself to the point of pain. You want to find that edge where you are, stretching your body and feeling the benefits of it, but not to the point where it hurts. Just play with it here. Opening up through the chest. Awesome. All right. Now from here, I want you to walk your hands center and bring your feet parallel to each other, and you're facing the long edge of your mat now. So big toe slightly and heels out. Bringing your hands right underneath the face, putting some weight into the toes if you feel yourself dropping into the hips, and then fold it in. Find your wide-legged forward fold. Another thing I should have mentioned is make sure any dog hair on your yoga mat doesn't distract you, because that tends to distract me, especially when my face is on the mat. I'm like, oh, dog hair everywhere. All right, beautiful job. And then different sort of transition here. Walk your hands over to that left foot. Point your left toes toward the back of the mat, so that short edge of the mat. And then we'll find side angle on the other side. So we're gonna go in the same way, or go out the same way we came in. It's going backwards now. So we're in that side angle on the left side. Opening up. If you have any binds in your practice, you can take those. And then find that heel to heel alignment now by bringing that back foot to 45 degrees. Bring your hips around. So you're sort of framing that front right foot. And then you want to find that interlace, or find that grasp. Bring left shoulder to left knee. Fold it in. Find your humble warrior. Breathe. Good, release that. Lift yourself up, challenge your balance, challenge your muscles. Warrior one. Awesome job. All right, we're gonna do a little bit more with balance now. So let's, again, face that long edge of our mat, big toes in, heels out. Find one more quick wide-legged forward fold. Folding, and hands can fall wherever it's comfortable for you. So you can grab opposite ankles, big toes. You can bring them through the legs. Folding from your hips. And again, if you feel yourself sinking into those hips, put a little bit of weight in the toes. All right, now we're gonna start to really wake up those inner thighs. So bend into that right knee. Bring your hands over to the right. We're just gonna bounce it back and forth or walk it back and forth. So then bend into the left knee. Bring it over to the right. And with each bend, see if maybe you can lift up a little bit higher. Maybe you bring your hands to your heart on this next one, finding Skandasana. So you wanna keep whichever knee is bent, you wanna keep that foot flat, but you can lift onto the heel of the opposite foot. So then we'll re-bend, bring it over, maybe lifting up, finding the hands together at your heart. Take it back. Maybe this time you bring arms up and overhead. You want shoulders over hips. Take it over to the other side. Nice deep stretch. Good. Straighten the legs. 5-pointed star. And then bring the feet slightly in. And then from here, we're going to challenge our balance. Chris, you know, she takes classes with me. We do a lot of balancing poses. All right, so we're gonna bend in to that right knee here. So sink it back like you're doing a lunge, like a side lunge. So that left leg is straight, bending into your right knee, hands at your heart. And then you're gonna just start to straighten that right knee and bring your left foot in. So we're finding tree pose. You can have your toes resting on the mat, heel on your ankle. You can bring the heel up to the calf or up to the thigh. Just wanna make sure you're avoiding that heel on the knee. Good. Now we're gonna switch it up a little bit. So again, challenging your balance, you want this slow and controlled. Take it out, so left toes are pointing forward, right toes are pointing forward. Bend into your left knee, sinking back, low lunge, and then challenging your balance as you straighten it up, lift up, find tree. Take it out, sink it back. Last time, really slow and controlled as you lift and find that tree. Good. All right, release it out to the side once again. Then we're gonna move over to the other side now. So you're sinking into that left hip this time. And then just glide that right foot forward. Tree on the other side. And remember, our bodies are not symmetrical, so if you're finding a harder time balancing on this foot, don't get discouraged, or vice versa. Just take note of it. So whatever side you're having a little bit more trouble with balance, work on that side, you know, in your home practice, your own practice. Good, take it out. Now bending into that right side lunge. Chest is lifted. Bring it in. Lift up, tree. Take it out. Sink it down. Last time, lift up, tree. So again, slow and controlled. Finding that balance. And release. Shake out the legs. Take any stretches you might need. I'm gonna roll my shoulders a little bit. You worked hard in those humble warriors. And then find that Tadasana, that mountain pose at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold it in. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, taking a little bend in the knees here, coming into ragdoll pose. You can Sway a little side to side. Holding it a little deeper with each exhale. It's a little bit different of a way to let the benefits of your practice sink in. I do recommend at some point taking a Shavasana, so lying down on your back. We'll roll up to stand here. Just taking that time to let everything sink in. But for now, we'll take a quick standing Shavasana. Eyes are closed. Bring hands together at your heart. And just like we did at the beginning of practice, take this time out to check in with your body, check in with your mind, maybe check in with your dog if they're nearby. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body is feeling. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice and for joining Ian throughout coffee and quarantine. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste.